So in terms of how mood might affect consumer decision making, we know a few different things. We know that there is always sort of an undercurrent of how we feel, right? And that's something that is affecting our decisions all the time. We're anxious because we're afraid we're going to miss our train. We're feeling maybe a little down in the dumps because we're, say, tired, lack of sleep. And those effects kind of run along a continuum where we also have emotional states where you feel very strong, visceral emotional states that have really dramatic effects on how we're perceiving and how we're interacting with our environments. And so it's sort of interesting to see this, and we know that people will use how they feel to make decisions. So as we think about the role of the salesperson in understanding consumer moods, actually there's some really interesting insights there. Actually, in some of my own work, we've looked at this, where we know that some people are really good at reading the moods of other people. They just have an innate ability, it seems, to sort of be able to look at someone and detect, oh, they're really anxious, or oh, they're really happy. And that some of the research I've done suggests that in a service context, either a retail environment or a restaurant environment, that when salespeople can pick up on those subtle cues to how someone's feeling, that it has a very positive impact on the consumer. So I'll give you an example. If you can imagine that you're rushing into a wine store on your way to a dinner party, you're actually already a few minutes late. But you know that you have to bring that obligatory bottle of wine, otherwise the host will be very disappointed. So you rush into this wine store and you find perhaps a salesperson who really wants to go on and on about the different regions of wine that they carry and the different calibers of wine that they offer. And you're thinking, I simply need a bottle of wine that won't embarrass me, that's within sort of a reasonable price range. Can we move this along a bit? In contrast, if that salesperson in that wine shop had instead been able to look at you and detect that anxiety, the anxiety of being late and not also wanting to be embarrassed, that they might have been able to respond to that and said, right, yes, as a salesperson, I do have a lot of knowledge that is valuable to some consumers. But this consumer, I don't think wants all of that information. And instead, I'd be much better off sort of perhaps identifying a bottle of wine in a reasonable price range that looks nice, that they can kind of, we can sort of process quickly and get on their way. So yes, I think the salesperson has a really important opportunity. There is an important opportunity in these customer-facing roles to be able to pick up on the cues of the customer and respond to them.